What a day. Ryan Poles has been making moves. What up, guys? Swifty here, breaking down all the moves that happened today. Just like that, day three, Ryan Poles has been busy wheeling and dealing. He started by trading the extra 6th round pick we got next year in the Khalil Mack trade for 2 7th round picks today. He then moved down both of his 5th round picks multiple times. We went from having 3 picks today and 6 total to 8 picks today and 11 total. Wow. This is what I've been talking about, guys. This draft is deep, and Poles realizes how deep this draft is and wants to take more shots at finding diamond in the rough type players. I absolutely love the strategy. Poles did finally make some picks in the 5th and 6th round, adding 2 tackles and a pass rusher. I already identified what Poles looks for in players. I talked about it going into the draft. Poles loves athletic players that score off the charts in testing. All 3 guys we added on day 2 yesterday were athletic freaks. Poles continued that trend today, first adding athletic offensive tackle out of Southern Utah, Braxton Jones. He then followed it up by adding another defensive end with absolute freakish athleticism in Dominique Robinson from Miami, Ohio. Dude is a former wide receiver, and scouts are loving this pick. Then Poles went back to the well again, adding another athletic offensive tackle in Zachary Thomas from San Diego State. I will briefly cover each of the 3 guys and have full breakdowns out for them later in the week. First off is Braxton Jones from Southern Utah. He was our first pick in the 5th round. He is 6'7", 305 pounds with 36-inch long arms. He excelled in pass protection but needs to play with lower pads and add strength in the run game. He's a developmental tackle prospect with a term you're going to have to get used to hearing with Poles picks. He's a freak athlete and a lot of traits that I love. Poles is clearly building this team from the ground up, and we can tell that he prefers the athleticism. Braxton Jones should come in and compete for our swing tackle position. I love the upside. I'm glad Poles finally addressed the offensive line. Next up, Poles came back in the 5th round and added a guy who might have the most freakish athleticism of anyone in this draft. Defensive end Dominique Robinson from Miami of Ohio. He has all the traits you look for as an edge rusher, but he's extremely raw and needs development. He only played 1 year on the defensive line. He's a converted wide receiver. I think after a year of setting behind Robert Quinn, Travis Gibson, and Al-Quadin Muhammad, this is a guy we probably won't see a ton this year, but it's possible he's going to work his way onto the field early as a situational pass rusher. Watch for this kid in training camp and during the preseason. I like the pick, even though there are a few guys I had rated higher. I love how Poles is making our entire roster more athletic. You can coach technique, can't coach athleticism. He is a kid who can play, though. He has virtually no experience in the run game, but he could definitely be a situational pass rusher a la Mark Anderson during his rookie season, if you guys remember back then. Ryan Poles then went back to the well for another offensive lineman with the first of our trio of 6th round picks, this time grabbing Zachary Thomas from San Diego State. He's a tackle who's 6'5", 300 pounds, and get this, scored off the charts with athleticism. He can really move with great footwork. He's a polished run blocker who plays with power and leverage. He played left tackle, but he will struggle versus NFL pass rushers and needs to refine his technique if he wants to stay there in the NFL. I could probably see him moving into guard. He's another pick I like. I watched some tape on this kid in the offseason. He blocks to the echo of the whistle, and he has that feisty demeanor that I love. I think he's a developmental tackle or a guy who could slide inside to compete for a job at guard. I like this pick a lot, and I'm amazed at that Poles continues to find guys with this much athleticism this late in the draft. Guys, we have 8 total picks today. So that means we have 5 more picks just today on top of the 3 that I just covered. So excited to see if Poles can continue adding athletic guys with potential to the squad. One guy that I love and is still sliding down draft boards is wide receiver Justin Ross from Clemson. I think the spine injury he suffered in 2020 is clearly holding teams off, but with all the extra picks and his potential, man, I would love to take a chance on this kid. Stay tuned, guys. I'll be breaking down the rest of our picks later today. So far in day three, Poles has moved down the board and went from 6 picks to 11 total. We now have made 6 picks, and every one of them has elite athletic traits. I'll be back covering the rest of the Bears' moves later today. Stay tuned. Please hit that like button for me. And until next time, bear down.